start. We will do this random date generated thing over here. Random date generated thing over here. And trust me, any question that you may have, just keep that question to yourself for 5 minutes and it will be answered. If it's not answered, then go ahead, ask that question. Okay, so what's this? 2020, let's do 2024. Start from January, 1st of January. And we're going to start till, let's do April 2024. April has 30 days. We're going to look for 30 dates over here. We're only going to choose Sunday market opens. And yeah. Oh, must be integral 1 to 20, 1 to 25. Okay, we can only do maximum 25 dates. All right, let's do this. Oh, I see. So we got to go back a little bit more. Okay, let's go back till October 2023. All right, these are the dates we got. In your Zoom meetings, details are visible. What details? What details are visible? In your Zoom meeting, details are visible. What do you like? You have some problem with English, or do you mean to say that in my Insta story, the Zoom meeting details are visible? Oh, oh no, yeah, that's old. That's old Zoom meeting. So guys, listen again. So what I'm gonna say is, if your name is iPhone or Samsung, you will be removed. Please log in with your real name. So I don't know how to. Where is this? All right. So first things first, we're gonna make Chris co-host. I don't even know how to do that. All right. Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, anyway, let's continue with this. All right. So we got these bunch of dates over here. But anyone with the name of iPhone or not a real name, you will be removed. So understand that. You will be removed if your name is not a real name. Okay, so we got the bunch of dates here. We got October, November, December, February, March, April. What do you guys want to do? Let's do April, March, February, April. Okay. Dan said April. Let's do 7th April. 7th April? Good. April. Okay. Mindiga also said April. Oh, someone said 21st April. Okay. No problem. Okay, 7th April. Let's go with the first one. 7th April over here. Start simulation. Let's take a look at this over here now. April, 7th April. We're going to start with, let's start with, yeah, I'll start with $10,000 over here. $10,000. This will keep at, like whatever. This we want 250. These are, so this history on charts basically means how many candles you want to see, how many candles you want to see all the way back. That's all what it means. Like how many candles basically you want to see. So we're going to go with the standard chart. Period is going to be like 15, which means the lowest time frame that you want to see. If I'm okay 2 or 3 days, no, you will, man, listen, send an email. Like, what the fuck are you doing asking this question over here? send an email or something like that. We have proper channels. Okay, let's see the for templates, Raja Dark. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable chat over here. Participants can chat with no one. Perfect. So I don't get distracted and people don't ask retarded questions. So what's this? This is the 8th March. Okay, no problem. May. This is where the candle. Oh, okay. So I guess it forwards it to wherever. So we're going to forward it to pre-London. So we're going to go over to, I guess it's going to be the 9th of April, pre-London. So we're going to go over to pre-London. Yeah, right there. Boom, 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 boom. All right, here we go. We got pre-London right over here. And let's scroll this down. So we got the daily time frame. We got the 4-hour time frame. We got the 1-hour time frame. We got the 30-minute time frame. We got the 15-minute time frame. All right. So let's do some analysis starting off with the 4-hour time frame. Now, what's the first thing we can identify when we talk about the trend? The one thing that we can identify when we talk about the trend over here is that the trend is bullish because we are pushing up on the 4-hour time frame, right? And I guess we're creating some sort of a support. And also, I guess we are at some sort of resistance right over here as well. Okay, let's drop down to the 1-hour time frame, see what's going on. Now, when we're dropping down to the 1-hour time frame, what we can identify is that this really is some sort of a resistance here from the left-hand side, because we can see maybe this is where the market opened and we moved down, and now we're coming back up to this area to see whether we're going to continue to push back up here or not, right? Let's take a look on the 30-minute time frame. Now, looking at the 30-minute, one thing is very crystal clear, and that's that we have a support down at the bottom, and also at the same time, now on the 30-minute, we created a resistance, and we've broken and closed above this resistance. So once we're breaking and closing above this resistance, now we got to ask ourselves that, okay, what's the probability that the next candle will continue to push up? So let's measure this range right over here. From here to this wick, first of all, we have this is a 30 pip range, right? Let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame and see what more information we have on the 15-minute time frame. Now, in the 15-minute time frame, this looks like a crystal clear setup where the next candle has to wick down, break above the high, and then continue to push up. Does this make sense? I'm sorry I missed you guys. So now you guys can chat again. I'm sorry. I kind of missed I missed the side conversations, right? So that's what we're going to try to wait and see for price to come down, create a low, and then continue to push back up. I think that's going to be a much better opportunity for price to continue to push up. So let's see if that comes through over here. So we're going to play this. We're going to forward this here a little bit. And we're going to wait for price to create a lower wick. Because the thing is, the price has to create a lower wick. It's very important. Creating a lower wick is going to be something that's going to tell us that, okay, now maybe there's a probability for price to continue to push up. Creating that lower wick, basically. Right? It's moving now. Oh, I don't think it's moving. See now, right here. Now it's making a lower wick now, which is good. It's making that retracement. So once it's making that retracement, we need to wait for it to break the high. And it hasn't broken the high yet. So we're just going to wait. We're going to wait. That's all we're doing over here. See right there. We're breaking the high right over here. Let's take a look. So this is going to be an opportunity to go in for a buy position. So we're using a $10,000 account. So we're going to go with the one lot. And yeah, I guess a buy would make sense. Impulse entry for price to fill this wick. But one thing I'm looking at also is that we have 1, 2. So far, price has moved about 60 pips. right? So far, price has moved about 60 pips. So what I'm thinking now is that if we do break above this area, what's the probability it's going to move almost 25 more pips, which is 60, like 80 more pips. That's what I'm thinking at this point, right? Because I mean, if we had only one 30-minute candle breaking above this area, then that would have made much more sense. But since we have, a 60 pip move already happening and then price pushing up, so I'm thinking, what's the probability it's going to continue to push up? So instead of using one lot, I'm going to go with 0.5 lots because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. And the stop loss is going to be, wow, it's a 20 pip stop. We're going to put it down over here and aiming for price to move up over here. Now, since this is risky, because we've already moved up, I'm not using full risk. Full risk would be using a one lot. That would be full risk. Yes, Muad. So see, Muad, you asked a question, but I didn't even look at your question, and I still answered it without even looking at your question. Okay, look at that. So we're moving up in profits. Let's take a look at this right over here. Let's see how much in profits are we moving. So we're up about 5 pips at this point, right? We are up about 5 pips at this point. Okay, so we're in profits at this point right now. See, now it's coming back down to break even. And if it's coming back down to break even, I'm going to close 50% because think about this. It went in profit for 5 pips, 5.5, whatever. Now it's coming back down to break even. So keeping in mind what I just talked about candles moving in succession, right? Like, see, that's something that's holding me back. So I'm going to close 50% right over here. I closed 50% because, oh, wow, look at that. You see that? That's where you really have to be careful. You really have to be careful because price broke above this area. It went in profits, and a lot of times what guys are going to do is they'll say, okay, you know what? I'm going to let it run. I'm going to let it run. Oh, it's coming back to my entry point. If it's coming back to my entry point, oh my God, like, should I leave this open? Should I let the thing hit my full stop loss? Or should I close partials and let the rest run? So what was my risk? My risk was here around like $100. How much did I lose? $50. I lost $50 instead of losing $100, right? So I lost 50% of what I initially wanted to lose. So we're just going to wait now. We're just going to wait because essentially now this is our, that thing over there. What's it called? Resistance. So we want price to create some sort of a, supportish area. Like, now, I mean, look. So if this candle breaks and closes below this area, then, maybe this move up becomes a fake out and maybe we can get this move down as a fake out. But until that happens, all we can do is just wait, so we just got to wait at this point now. So it's always important to know how to cut your losses. Cutting your losses is the only thing that's going to keep you in this game for a long time. To cut your losses. Let's speed it up here a little bit. This candle is about to close. The 30-minute candle is about to close over here. In 3, 2, 1. Wow, look at that. See this candle? This candle is now printing right next to the previous candle, which means we are just consolidated. I don't think there's anything fancy that we're looking to see that's going to happen now because we're coming up towards London Open now. I mean, we had some volume after Asian, but now we're coming up towards London Open, so we're going to see how, London Open is going to act or behave in this scenario. So let's see. So we're breaking above the high, no problem. This candle is moving, grooving. I'm not really. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. The thing is that even if this candle breaks the high of the previous candle, we have this big rejection here to the left-hand side, right? So since we have this big rejection there to the left-hand side, that doesn't mean you can take an impulse entry. The only reason, the only way you could do that if we can close above this area and then for price to continue to push up. That's going to be the ideal scenario. So, I mean, we'll have to wait to see how this candle actually closes. Closing of this candle is going to be much, much more important to see how this candle actually closes. So we're going to close in about 5 minutes over here. And 3, 2, and 1. Candle close. Look at the way the candle closed over here. This candle closed below this resistance right over here. So now we're just consolidating. We're literally just consolidating at this point. So we're just going to have to wait now. We're going to have to wait to see, like, I mean, if there's going to be a candle closing below support to move down, or is there a candle, closing above this area to move up? We don't know what's going to happen. So we're just going to have to wait over here now. Let's take a look at the calendar here. So we have no news happening here. I mean, yeah, no news happening here now. We're just happy. No impulse entries. Oh, wow, look at that. Still consolidating over here. What's this? Arturo is requesting meeting summary with AI companion. Ooh, I don't know what that is. But it's being recorded, don't worry. This AI companion, I've seen a lot of guys use this thing over here. Okay, so now this is London Open now. And London Open, we need a candle to close above or below this range. We need a candle to close above. In this, can we look at 15-minute closing? No. I'm not going to focus on 15-minute. I'm going to focus on 30-minute. Because a lot of people here, you guys aren't even trained enough to focus on the 30-minute, waiting for it to close. So that's the whole thing where it's going to be unless we have, I mean, even if we look at the 15-minute, 15 minutes is nothing. We got to wait for the candles. I mean, the 15-minute candle closed above this area. Looking at the 30-minute, 30-minute. Okay, so this is where a lot of people are gonna get confused, right? Let's take a look at this. The 15-minute is closing above this resistance. So if we take a look at this on the 15-minute, this looks like this new 15-minute candle can break above the high and then continue to push up, right? But if we take a look at the 30-minute candles, the 30-minute, it's still in this rejection area right over here. So we don't know whether this 30-minute candle will, reject within this area or will it close within this area. We don't know that. So we'll have to wait. Remove this, okay? So we'll have to wait over here. We'll have to wait. We're just waiting. We're just waiting to see how it's going to close. Don't get too excited about candles moving. Just wait for the candle to close. Because most of the trades we're going to take in the simulation are going to be based on candles closing. I mean, if we get a good impulse entries, it's very hard. Yeah, wow, look at that, right? Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah, see? 15-minute is now ranging over here now. There's nothing happening at this point. There's absolutely nothing happening. It's all garbage. This is where people get stuck. Let's forward this. Oh, wow, look at that. 30-minute candle is moving up over here. Okay, let's take a look on the 15-minute. Beautiful. 30-minute candle still open. See how this 15-minute candle is going to close. We're just waiting for the 30-minute candles. I mean, if this 30-minute candle can stay bullish, I think the next one can continue to push up, right? The next one can continue to push up. So we'll have to wait. And it's closing in 3, 2. Oh, wow. Look at that move. Look at that. This candle's about to close over here now again. What a waste of time this session over here. Look at this 15-minute candle. Came back in the range. Nothing happening over here. Let's forward this. See how this closes. Wow, nothing happening. So notice how pre-London has no volume, right? Pre-London had no volume. We didn't see any big candles forming, right? So pre-London had no volume. Next, what's next? We have London Open. London Open had no volume. Okay, awesome. London Open has no volume. Slowly, we're moving into pre-New York now, right? So now we got to ask ourselves a question. If pre-London had no volume, London Open had no volume. Can pre-New York have volume? Right? Is like that's a very logical question to ask. Can pre-New York have volume? Now, this is the start of the new, like the new 4-hour candles are going to start in about 30 minutes. So let's see over here. Is their previous bullish candle a liquidity candle? This one, yeah, this could be a liquidity candle, but we're going to see how this next candle closes so we can see if we can, like, adjust our zones or something. But it's a mess. Wow, look at that. It's just so bad. Mess. It's very messy. This candle is about to close. So let's see how this candle closes here. This 30-minute candle. This is tough sometimes, when price is just consolidating. So we'll have to wait. We shall wait here and then see what happens. 50. Okay, let's forward this here. Oh my God, look at that. Look, we closed back in the range. 15-minute is garbage. 30-minute now, the range is up over here. Looking at the 1-hour candles, yeah, it's just so stupid. If I trade pre-London and this happens, should you call it a day? Yeah, you should call it a day. All right, the new 4-hour candle has started. Okay. I have a question. If candle breaks support with a big body, but most of his body is below support, can we? I'm not going to answer that question. We're doing a simulation here. Sorry. We're doing a simulation here. Sorry. This is not a private mentorship. You want to do private mentorship? It's 20,000 for 2 days. Private mentorship. We're doing a simulation over here. Okay. So 1 hour is bearish. 30-minute is right over here. Yeah, let's see. So this is the new 4-hour candle. Oh, wow, look at that. The 15-minute candle is about to close. Let's take a look in the, whoa. What are you doing over here? What are you doing over here? This is a rock cocking itself all the way up. All the way bullish. What is this? Was there news at this point? Hold on there. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. We're missing the move. This happens most of the time. We're missing the move here, no problem. All we got to do now is wait for some sort of, a retracement. If we can get some retracement, then we can continue to push up, right? That's all we got to see here now. If we can get some sort of retracement, let's take a look on the 15-minute, because the volume is so much that now we're forced to take a look on the 15-minute over here, because there's a lot of volume here now. So we're going to take a look on the 15. Let's see how this candle closes. Candle closed bearish. All we got to see is a support to form. How much was this move? This was a 100 pip move over here. So 100 pip 15-minute candle. Let's see how the next 15-minute candle closes. 15-minute candle has closed bullish. Looking at the 30-minute, whatever. 1 hour bullish, 15-minute candle has closed bullish. Since there's a lot of volume, and this is, I think, the kind of a trade I took last week as well. When there was a lot of volume, 15-minute candle closed bullish. Stops go probably below the previous candle. Let's go with, since we've already moved, we'll go with 0.5 lots. Let's take a look for a buy. I mean, this buy makes sense, right? The buy makes sense. Uptrend, a lot of volume. We're creating support, looking at price to maybe whatever. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove my take profit. But yeah, I mean, this makes sense for price to come down, create a lower wick, continue to push up, and have some profits. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Look at that. We're about 14 pips up, 12 pips up over here, no problem. Oh, wow, look at that. 16, 17, 18 pips up at this point now, right? Very good. Very good. So since this is the first trade of the week, what we're going to do is we're going to, shouldn't we have entered at the break of the high? Well, that's what separates someone who's focusing on impulse entries versus someone who's focusing on candles closing. because I'm focusing on candles closing. I'm not focusing on impulse entries because I'm looking at myself as someone who is new to trading. Once you have enough confidence and once you get really good, then you can take a look at impulse entries. But right now, I'm not good at all. I'm just focusing on candles closing at this point. So I'm going to close partials, maybe close about 80, 90%, and modify my stop loss right over here below the candle. And that's it. Should we adjust stop loss now to the current low? Man, you guys understand English? Like when I said in the beginning, just keep your question to yourself for 5 minutes. Put it in you for 5 minutes. And if it's not answered, then ask the question. You guys lack patience, which is why, things are going to continue to get difficult. You just got to be very, very patient. All right, take a look at this. We're coming back down. If we come back down to break even, I'm going to close the position because I don't want to take this into a loss. So let's close this whole thing over here. Made money, recovered our loss and made money, right? Not bad. The candle's about to close. The candle closed weak, bullish candle. If you look on the 30-minute candle is still bullish. 15-minute candle, it's kind of like rejecting this area. So we don't know what's going on. Now, if there's someone who is looking for sells, this is where your sells are going to play out. If we can break below this support, only then your sells are going to play out as a counter trend sells. So let's just wait over here now again. Are we going to break below that area? Break and close. We have to break and close for something to work. Breaking and closing is going to be very important. If we don't break and close, then nothing. Let's speed it up here a little bit. Ooh, too much speed. I show speed to the charts. I show speed. Okay, look at that. 15-minute candle, whatever. We're just consolidating. Let's forward this candle. Oh, wow, look at that. 15-minute candle has closed bullish. Look at this. Do you see this? 15-minute candle has closed bullish above this area. Looking at the 30-minute candle is also showing very, very, very bullish scenario. This is now we're moving into pre-New York. So if there was no volume we had some volume here a little bit, but I do think this is okay. So I want to take a buy, but I want to measure this stop loss here as well, because if you look at this 15-minute candle, this 15-minute candle has no wick at the bottom, which means it has high volume. So how much is this range? This is a 28 pip stop loss, 28 pip stop loss, right? 1 hour candles, bullish, whatever. 30-minute candles are also like this 30-minute candle made a huge liquidity wick and it closed above this wick over here as well, making a high, higher than the previous one and higher than this big volume candle as well. So instead of putting my stop loss below the candle, I'm going to have it within this range, because this goes back to the idea that I've talked about multiple times, that if your stop loss is too big, if it's below the candle, then the candle shouldn't have any business coming back down in the range. Does that make sense? It shouldn't have any business coming within this range. So we're going to risk we're going to risk about right over here. And we're going to remove the TP and then, it shouldn't come back within this range if it's going to continue to push up. And I'm going to keep it closed. Oh, wow, look at that. Very nice. 20 pips there. And I'm going to close this actually for the sake of explanation, put stops at break even and secure 90%. And then leave this running. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So you guys get it, right? The stop was too big, but then we kept it within the range, because if it's breaking above this area, and if there's a probability it's going to go up, it should have no business coming back down in the range. Yeah, it should have no business coming back down in the range. So now this is just going to be runner to see like where it can go off or so let's forward this here. Oh, whoa, what the this is where runners oh my god. I wasn't even expecting this. But it's like just like a night. Wish I had the 50% close. But it's still good. Like like a 0.07 lots. Price moved up. Let's take a look on the 1 hour, 15 minute. Wow, look at that. That thing just continued to move. So it's like 0.07 lots. No problem. Close this trade. See what happens. Oh wow. Okay, now we have a retracement here. Okay, awesome. No problem. Let's move on to the next day here now. Moving on to the next day. So remember, here mostly we're focusing on candles closing and managing risk and stuff like that, but mostly candles closing. Wow, look at that. Oh wow, gold is just jumping. Why did you not wait for the bottom wick to form, Raja? Because we closed above resistance right here. We closed above resistance, and I'm executing on candles closing. So when you're executing on candles closing, you're just executing. You're just basically executing. There are different scenarios where you have to wait for the bottom wicks to form. Like let's say if this candle had no wick at the top, then you would say, okay, you know what? Since this candle has no wick to the top, I'm going to wait for the bottom wick to form, and then I'm going to wait for the candle to break the high for price to move up. Or like if we were still in a range, and then you would say, okay, I'm going to wait for the bottom wick to form. So you're waiting for the bottom wick to form if you're not confident. That's the thing. So this is very beginner trading where you're waiting for the candle to close and you're executing on the next candle to form. Raja, you're saying as a beginner, you should enter as soon as the candle closes and not when it breaks the previous high? Yes, because the concept of breaking the highs and the concept of waiting for the wick to form, the lower wick, that's a advanced concept. That's an advanced concept. It's difficult. It's not for like, if someone who's new and like it's advanced concept. No, the chat can't break me, trust me. And here we are at pre-London again. All right, let's start off with removing all these zones. Remove all these zones. We're going to start off with the 4 hour time frame. Let's start off with the daily. So daily is continuing to push bullish here now. We're continuing to push bullish. Looking at the 4 hours are just, printing side by side. Nothing really happening over here. Let's take a look on the 1 hour time frame. Also, on the 1 hour, we have some more information. On the 1 hour, we have a resistance forming right over here. And at the same time, we have some sort of a support forming right here as well. Let's take a look over here now on the 30-minute time frame here. Let's see. So we have a resistance on the 30-minute. Let's remove this zone. We're going to remove this. So basically, let's remove everything here in the beginning. And let's draw these zones on the 30-minute because things are getting a little bit complicated. So we got 30-minute support. We have a 30-minute resistance right here. Now, if we take a look at this, we got to ask ourselves, how big is this range here first? This is a 80 pip range. Now, this is a tradable range. And the reason why I'm going to say it's a tradable range is because if we come up towards this resistance, and if we look for some sort of, if we find some sort of a, resistance here, we can trade this range all the way to the bottom. If price comes back down to the support, and if we see some sort of support to form, then we can take a buy for price to continue to push up. That's something that we can identify and execute on. But right now, price is in the middle of this range. So we don't know whether we're going to move up or whether we're going to move down. If we form some sort of resistance here, and we move down, this is a 45 pip range. So maybe we'll be able to take some sort of a trade within this range there. But, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what sort of, candle confirmations we form, or even if we form any confirmations here or not. So we're going to have to wait over here. Waiting for these candles now. That's it. Oh, look at that 30-minute candle. We closed a weak bearish candle. And this weak bearish candle makes no sense at all. So we'll have to wait. Even if we break above this area now, let's take a look at this over here. If we break above, we got like 84. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. So we need a candle to break and close above this area. That's what we want. A candle to break and close above this area so we can continue to push up. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Oh, looks like we're coming back down over here. But if we're breaking above this high, how much is this? 48 pips. We got clean range to the left-hand side. I think even though we got clean range to the left-hand side, I think it's still better to wait for the candle to close. Yeah, there we go. Now we have candles breaking and closing above this area. So now the question is, what's the probability if we break above this high, we can continue to push up? Should we include keen candle wicks by measuring the range the way you did? Yes. So let's take a look on the 1 hour. This is just one 1 hour candle moving up, no problem. So the next 1 hour candle can definitely move up here as well. Looking at the 15-minute candle has closed, broken, and closed above this area. Looking at the 30-minute here as well, the 30-minute candles have also closed above this area. So I think this is a very good opportunity for price to continue to push up. Yes, exactly. Right. So stop is going to be, 23, 24 pips, whatever, for price to move up. Pretty good. Pretty good. Right over here. I think it's pretty. I just joined. Oh, well. I'm sorry, sir, but we can't repeat ourselves. I'm so sorry. Can we take a trade in a new 4-hour candle after 5-6 minutes? I don't know. We're focusing on this right over here. We're focusing on whatever that's happening here. Oh, wow, look at that. Very nice. We're about 18, 19, 20, 26 pips over here. Beautiful, right? Very nice. Very nice. So looking at the 15-minute, wow, look at that. We didn't focus on the 15-minute, but we looked at the 30-minute here. So we're going to close about partials. We're going to close about, 90% put stops at break even and let the rest. How easy was this trade based on a 15-minute here? Super easy trade, right? Super, super easy trade. There was nothing complicated about this trade. Now the new 30-minute candle has formed, and if this new 30-minute candle continues to push up, then, so be it. We're going to have another fine, lovely runner. Sound is very low. No, bro, your speakers are probably very low. Sound is perfectly fine. Okay. This is moving well into London Open now. So price is coming down. Oh, we got stopped out. No problem. We're still up 4%. We made $400, man. We made $400 risking less than 1%. Well, maybe risking 1%. That's risking 1%. But still, it played out really well. Now let's take a look at this. The 30-minute candles, we are creating a support for price to move up, right? Now, the question can be, if we take a buy, can we continue to move up? You got to measure the range. The range is, 23, 24. I mean, this is your range right over here. This is where we're going to come up to. how big is this range? It's like 25, 26. I mean, if you wait for the price to break above this high, this is 22 pips. If we break above this high, this is 15 pips. So there's no buys over here. It's very difficult. The only thing we can do is maybe if we change the zones right over here, because now this is our recent zone. And if this is our recent zone, and if we break below the support, this is a 48 pip range. Does this make sense? Let me repeat myself here. Before we had, a resistance right here at 2355, right? We broke above this area, we went up, whatever, did this dance, and now we formed a support on the 30-minute time. If we break below this low, can't we come down to this area here, 2351, which is 46 pips away? We can, right? Would you consider that a change of bias? Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a change of bias because it's not even a change of bias. It's mostly about being fluid with price action. Because if we can break below this area, then I think there's a very good probability we can continue to push down. And that's the way you can say, okay, you know what? I'm trying to be fluid with price action. I mean, if that happens, oh wow, look at that. It's actually really happening. Like I'm not saying it will happen, but it's like, maybe some sort of probability or whatever. Take a look at the 15 ring. Wow, look at that 15 ring candle, right? I'm not going to execute on it because we're already up. But, we do think there's a probability. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, okay. So we did a pullback. This pullback, this 15-minute candle did a retouch of this thing. And now we're coming down. So if this 15-minute candle breaks the previous low, I think there's a very good probability we can continue to push down, right? Let's spectate this. Whenever we are change our bias, should we consider 4-hour or just 30? Why would we take a sell as beginners? Shall we follow only the trend? Muad, yeah, just follow the trend, but we're spectating. I'm trying to explain to you. I can skip all this. I can just skip all this and just do whatever I'm doing. So if you guys want me to remove Muad here from Zoom for giving extra education, just let me know. I'm going to remove him. You got to be like water. You got to at least study price action, because this is studying price action. You have to study price action. I mean, if we break the low right here, I think we can continue to push down. I'm just studying price action. And the more I study, the more I'm going to know that if I'm going to be right or wrong. Right? So wow, look at that. See, we didn't go. Yeah. Oh, so now this is a heavy bearish candle. So if this is a heavy bearish candle, now I think there's going to be a possibility for price to move down. So we're just studying this. Oh, okay. No problem. Just don't ask any questions, trust me, because I'm going to answer every question in my flow. So if any question I answer, if it sounds arrogant to you or if it gets hurtful to you, trust me, I don't mean it like that. I'm just going with the flow. I'm seriously just going with the flow. So don't take any offense to this. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, wow, look at that. We did move down here. Let's move on to the next one now. Oh, what the hell is going on over here? Do we have any news? Let's take a look at this. CPI. We had CPI? No, we didn't have CPI. There was some other news over here. Anyway. Your hurt is inspirational. All right. Next time, I'm just going to mute the chat because I like to be in my flow, Okay. All right, let's take a look on the 1 hour here. Let's remove all these zones here. And so let's take a look on the daily here first. So the daily candles, we created a support. We're moving up. But the daily candles are basically, they're printing side by side over here. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. The 4 hour also created some sort of a support here. and we created some sort of a resistance right over here. And let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's take a look on the 1 hour time frame. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we have support form, and I guess we have some sort of a resistance forming here on the 1 hour. Since price is coming up to that area, let's take a look on the 30-minute here now. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, yeah, things are getting a little bit difficult on the 30-minute. Now, obviously on the 30-minute, we have a support. And then also we have another support formed on the 30-minute right here. And this range, this is a 70 pip range. So I'm not too sure whether price will, I mean, we're in the middle of a range here. So I guess it's better to, yeah, I want to see if we can break below this range in this 56 pip move here, potentially, or can we break above this area? So I'll have to wait. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what really happens here. Because this is a sort of like, you know, some sort of a rejection area, which I don't really understand. So we'll definitely have to wait. All right, look at this. So we have 1, 2, 3 candles moving, 1, 2, 3 candles moving up. So, and this is also a rejection area. Can't take any buys. So we'll have to be very careful, and we shall have to wait over here to see what candles form, because obviously we're moving up, but we also have the support form, and this 30-minute candle, we don't know. Oh, new candle has formed now. And this candle is forming right next to this candle. So these two candles are side by side, which means we're basically consolidating. So if we are consolidating, I guess we'll have to create some support to break or something, you know. So yeah, let's see. Let's play this. Let's take a look on the 1 hour time frame. So here's a problem I'm running into, right? And notice how I removed this zone here as well. The zone here, I removed it. I'm running into the problem because on the 30-minute time frame, there seems to be like a tiny bit of support form, and this tiny bit of support was formed by this small bearish candle. So what I'm thinking is that looking on the 1 hour, is this clean range on the 1 hour? And this is a 100 pip range, right? Is this clean range, or the 30-minute is also this clean range over here? If we ignore this tiny bit of support from this tiny bearish, because you gotta look at it this way. A support is established when we have a bullish candle forming after a bearish candle, right? Let me repeat this. A support is established when we have a bullish candle forming after a bearish candle. So if this bearish candle has a weak body, then I don't think this support should be as strong as we want it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to see if a sell would make sense here if we break below this area. So yeah, we'll see. We'll go by the feel of the market. We'll go by the feel of the market. Like so far, the candle is not breaking above this area, right? So yeah, we're just gonna wait over here now. We're just gonna wait. Oh wow, look at that. We're breaking below this area. Let's take a look on the 1 hour candle. The 1 hour candle is still open. The 1 hour candle is still open. I guess I'm going to wait for the 1 hour candle to close. I'm not going to do any impulse entry shit over here. Let's just wait for the 1 hour candle to close, because that's also going to be the London Open. So I think it's better for the 1 hour candle to close. Yeah, I think it's going to be better. I'm super hungry right now. I'm hungry for pips. All right, look at that. The 30-minute candle closed like a doji. The 1 hour candle closed. The 1 hour candle, you know, to be honest, it closed bearish. The 1 hour candle. It did close bearish. And this body is bigger than the previous 30-minute candle body. All right, so let me do this over here. I'm going to do, how much is this? This is a 32 pip. This is a 32 pip stop loss, son. That's a big stop loss right here. Okay, so let's reduce the risk here and let's take a sell. I'm going to do a sell, stop loss right here, risking about $83, no problem. $83. And then, so this is an example of an impulse entry now. No, not impulse entry. I'm sorry. I take my words back. Don't message. This is dynamic risk. Small risk, 0.25, because I want to see if okay. So so I want to see is if we can have a bearish 1 hour candle forming irrespective of what the 30-minute candles do over here. But we're still going to keep the 30-minute candles in mind. See this now, education time. If you had your normal risk open at this time, if you had your normal risk open at this time and your stop loss was above the previous 1 hour candle, then at this point, once it's breaking the high, you should have closed 50%. Once this candle is breaking the high, you should close 50%. But since our risk is already lower, we're using dynamic risk, and we've all learned in the risk management, whatever, is that whenever you're using dynamic risk, don't manage risk on dynamic risk because your risk is already managed since you're using dynamic risk. Does that make sense? Your risk is already managed since you're using dynamic risk. Look at this 30-minute candle jumping around. All right, the 30-minute candle has closed, and man, the 1 hour candle, 15, yeah, this is not, I'm going to close. So see how I'm managing risk here over and over again now? Yeah, like I'm going to, this looks super trash. Does not look good at all. This 30-minute candle's moving now. I'm breaking the low. Wow. The 15-minute candle has also, oh, wow, look at that. 15-minute candle has closed bearish. The 1 hour candle is pushing down here now again. The 30-minute candle I mean, that was a very beautiful impulse entry scenario. The 15-minute candle is here. So if this 15-minute candle retraces, I think I'm going to add my risk back. So now there are certain scenarios we have to keep in mind in this trade specifically. In this trade, we have consolidation to the left-hand side on the 15-minute candle, but we have volume on our side, okay? Now, on the 30-minute has this minor support to the left-hand side, and we're anticipating price to move down. So how are we going to move down? We have volume on our side. We look at the 1 hour candle here. 1 hour has clean range to the left-hand side. How are we going to move down? We have volume on our side. So I'm going to, if this 15-minute candle retraces, I think we can add risk back to this trade or not. Or not. Yeah, looks like there's going to be no situation to add risk back to a trade over here. Oh, wow, look at that. We have retraced back. But the 30-minute candle is also bearish over here. Looking at the 1 hour candle, 1 hour candle bodies are getting smaller. Man, this is where things get really difficult. Yeah, things get very difficult right over here. So I'm not gonna add, but I mean, let's just whatever, it's a simulation, it's simulation. Let's play around with small lot sizes. Like we're still learning, it's simulation time. 0.25 lots. What's 0.25? 0.25 lots aren't going to hurt us in real life, right? 15-minute candle is, oh, wow, look at that. Okay. Now, what I'm going to say here now is this is only for traders who have seen this in the past. For someone who's going to have a question, this means you haven't seen this in the past. For everyone who's seen this, have you seen this sort of like a candle pattern where, let's say we are bearish, this candle forms, bullish, let's say, with no wick and has a wick, and the next candle just comes down to fill this wick. Okay, Muhammad Dawood has seen this. Hans, Ahmed, you've seen this. Yeah, and I've been seeing this as well. I've been seeing this as well because, yeah, I pointed that out before either. Yes, for sure. We've seen this before, but I haven't really formulated a way to say that, okay, I'm going to take a buy or a sell here because that's going to happen. I haven't yet formulated that, so still watching this happens. Rajan has seen this as well. Okay, awesome. Yeah, many times. Seen this many times. Like normally this would mean a rejection and price would move the opposite way, but it doesn't, So anyway, we're making about a 1% gain from this, like, like almost like 2% gain from these like small lot sizes. It's wow, this is actually 66 pips over here, price is moving. So let's close all these trades right over here. Yeah, this is something, and I'm going to include this in my notes as well, after the simulation is done. I've got lost when we have past support resistances that we all broke. How can we manage that? Don't care about them. Listen, Muad, brother, listen. I'm being very nice. Like we're having a simulation over here. You can't bring your personal issues in the simulation. If you want to have like a personal one-on-one mentorship, there's a price for that, and we can do that. Personal one-on-one mentorship. This is not personal one-on-one mentorship. We got 170 people here watching, and listen, if everyone comes in with their personal questions, we're gonna get nowhere. So you have to respect people's time, my time, and especially your time. There's a time and a way to ask questions, not during a simulation session. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, if you want to have personal one-on-one, you can message one of the mods, you can email, and then we can do a personal one-on-one mentorship, but not doing this. I want to know about this bullish candle. Sorry, you can't. I even myself figured out how to personally do this. But yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one over here. But yeah, this is some things like, that we've seen in the past happen over and over again. So anyway, let's move on to the next one. Okay, looks like the New York session just ranged here a little bit. Take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Oh, wow, look at that. Volume came in later. All right, here we go. Moving bullish. Beautiful. Missed all these moves over here. Awesome. It's all because of you guys. Missed all these moves here for price to move up. How can I update my simulation to get new months? All right, here we go. I'll help you with this. Options. What's the name? UT. UT is the name over here. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry for this. I have to answer this question for UT. Options, remove. Removed. Perfect. Awesome. One parasite removed from the Zoom. Ask another dumb question and we're going to remove you too. Okay, so on the 30-minute time frame, let's take a look on the daily here first. So now, looking at the daily time frame, we have just one big candle that's moving up on the daily time frame. Looking at the 4-hour, we have one big bullish candle moving on the 4-hour that moved bullish. Looking at the 1-hour candle, we have formed a small bearish candle that moved up. Awesome. And then we have the 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is creating a support. Now, counter trend. I love counter trend trades, right? Now, if we can break below this area, I think we can continue to push down in this beautiful range over here. In this beautiful range that we got, we can continue to move down, right? If we can form like whatever, like you get the idea. And to go bullish, I think we need to break above this wick for price to move up. I think that's going to be good. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll have to wait. Yeah, he's standing outside of the class now. It's funny when we were in school, and the teacher would make us stand outside of the class, we'd be happy. We'd be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, we're outside of the class now. And we'd look around and see how many other kids were outside of the class and we wave at them and shit like this. But here it's opposite. You get pissed off. You're like, oh shit, I'm outside of the class. Oh man. Okay, Shahir is gonna get removed here as well because he asked a question which would be answered here soon. Okay, so we're just gonna wait over here now to see how this candle is gonna close. Okay. Oh wow, look at that. If this candle can close bearish and the next one can break the low, we can continue pushing down. This is beautiful. My favorite counter trend trade. My favorite counter trend trade. Candle's about to close. Look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful counter trend trade over here. A beautiful counter trend trade opportunity is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that cannot be missed. Let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame. Wow. Doesn't matter what the 15-minute candle is saying. The only thing that matters is what the 30-minute is saying. And this is where we can say, okay, let's use our regular risk a little bit. We're gonna go on for a sell. Stop losses. See, now in this point, I don't want my stop loss to be, above this candle because it's too big. In this case, I'll have my stop loss, somewhere within this range. Somewhere within this range over here. Because if this candle, can I zoom in here more? I can't zoom in. Because if this candle is, breaking and closing below these candles, not the wicks, the body's right over here, what's the probability of this candle to continue to push down? There's a very high probability for the candle to continue to push down. This is a perfect counter trend opportunity for price to move down. A picture perfect counter trend opportunity, which it. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. It almost came home like watching this. I'm like, buddy, don't do this. That was hilarious. All right, so what, 15, 13, 15, 20, 27. Let's close like, 80% right here. We're going to put stop loss at break even. And that's it. That's it. And letting the rest run over here at this point. Wow, look at that. We are running and gunning down. Beautiful. 38, 40 pips. Nice. So now what's the probability it's going to come up for a retest? I don't know, and I don't want to find out. I'm going to secure this, and then that's it. So we made about $1,000 in this week. So this is Friday. We'll see. We'll see if we can get some sort of like a retest or like whatever. Like let's see over here. Let's see what happens here, because we've moved down quite a bit. So let's see. Let's wait. Okay, so now this candle has closed, and we formed some sort of a support here now. Okay, so before I talk about this, I want to talk about something else first. And then we'll see if we can find another trade, and then we're going to call it a day. So before, we had this support, and we're seeing if we can move down, correct? And now we formed a new support. Okay, so let's plot this new support. Now we formed this new support. Now we have this new support. Now, if we have this new support, based on this new support, where is our resistance? Is our resistance number A right over here? Or is our resistance number B right up over here? Answering this correctly will solve a lot of your problems. It's B. It's B. And the reason why it's B is because if we have a support formed, how much clean range do we have for the support? We have a clean range till here because you have clean candle and you have clean candle. We're not going to say based off this support that we have only this one clean candle. No. If price decides to move up, we have clean candle and clean candle right over here. This is a very, very important concept. Very important. Because this support was good till we were breaking it. But now we have this clean candle, this clean candle. So you have to anticipate it, watch it over and over again to kind of see. Okay, so what this is London Open right over here. And if this is London Open, is there an opportunity for a buy here? Let's take a look on the 15-minute consolidating. 1 hour is still open. Yeah, we'll just wait for the 1 hour candle to close. We'll just wait for the 1 hour candle to close. And while wait, oh wow, look at that. Do we have another opportunity for a possible sell? Huh? Do we? So if this candle breaks below, I guess these lows here, I think we can have another sell for price to move down. Same thing we had right over here for price to move down. If we can break below these wicks, we can continue to push down. And yeah, that will be full margin. That that one will be full margin. But so far, we're just gonna have to wait over here. Ooh. All right. Candle's about to close. We are printing side by side, which means we are consolidating. This 30-minute candle has closed and we have formed a successful support. So now we are just consolidating at this point. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is still open. 30-minute candle is still open over here. Oh yeah, we're just, the more the candle moves without you being in a trade, the more your range becomes smaller. Because if we were anticipating to enter somewhere right over here, the range was 53, 54 pips. But now if you're trying to enter somewhere right over here, your range is 30 whatever pips, it just gets small. Let's see how the candle closed. Yeah, see where the candle closed. Now we closed in the middle of a range. Now there's no trade. Because if you want to trade a range, the price should be as close to the support as possible or as close to the resistance as possible. So now there's literally no range. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, even if we continue to push up, there's basically nothing. And that's a very sad situation. Let's see how the candle closes. Yes. Okay, we're moving up here now. Let's take a look on the 15-minute, 30-minute. Looks like we have broken above this area beautifully. Wow. So the candle closed with little to no wick on the top. I was going to end the simulation here, but now I'm thinking, can we get some sort of a retest or something like that? Wow, nothing happening. Okay, 15-minute has retraced. Can we get a support forming on the 15-minute time frame? Oh, wow, look at that. Very nice. Very nice. This is beautiful. This is, oh, look at this. Let me open CTrader right here. Yeah, wait. Let me show you this. I have to show you this. I'm going to let CTrader load over here. I have to show you this. This is very important. This is very, very, very important. This is very important. This is a trade I took on Friday. Which was it? Was it this one? This one? Yeah, this one. Look, right here. You see this? See this right here? This is the same trade I took on Friday, right here. I took a buy right over here. Price moved up. This is exactly the same thing. So I'm going to go with 2 lots over. I'm, I'm going to go with 2 lots because this is exactly the same trade I took. Without a doubt in my mind, this is exactly the same trade I took. And ideally, this should continue to push up. Forward this candle, boom. Wow. Wow. This is the same trade I took on. See, this is when you focus on specific candle patterns, you recognize them. You recognize them. And it's very difficult not to recognize them. This is the same trade I took. But over here, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at this thing also moved up a little bit. And over here as well, it moved up a little bit. So let me close this trade here and let's forward what happens next. Retracement. Wow, retracement. Look what happened right over here. Look what happened right over here. We went up, boom, retracement. This shit just keeps repeating itself. The market keeps repeating itself over and over and over and over and over again. This is hilarious. The market moves in waves. It moves in vibration. So this happens mostly after a good retracement. No, I'm not saying this happens after a good retracement. I'm just saying that this is something that happened on Friday. And what happened on Friday, it happened on the fucking, what's this? The 12th of April. That's all what I'm saying. You know, so maybe it's a coincidence, there's a probability, you know. But yeah, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. And I'm very pleased that this happened here. That we broke out and we had a little bit of retracement, and this is where impulse entries came into play. And this is also a Friday. Wow, yeah, thank you, Mandika. This is also a Friday. But anyway, guys, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate it. This was recorded. The recording is gonna be uploaded with my notes, so you can see it there. And we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. See ya.